Yeah, g'day, and welcome to my workshop. Let me just check my microphone. Appears to be working. Somebody please give me a feedback in the comment section just to confirm that. Yeah, what's my last month been like? Well, started off with the live stream with you guys. Things were going well. Then I had a business trip down to Turkey, to Eskişehir. I was there for about 4 days. Unfortunately, came back with COVID, which kind of knocked me on my backside. Okay, Mike's good. Thanks very much. Thanks for the confirmation. Yeah, that threw me on my backside for the rest of that week and through the weekend, and then a couple of days into the next week, which I guess, you know, if life gives you lemons, you've got to make lemonade. So that's where I took my time to make some real progress on the lathe with my control cabinet, and I'm really happy with how that's progressing. Next step, I've got a bit more painting to do, but the next step is going to be all that wiring, which is going to be a challenge to make anything interesting out of. So yeah, I'll be doing my best. Just have a quick check of the comments section here. What do we got? Jim Jam's there, g'day. Oh, g'day Alexander, nice to see you. Fantastic, thanks. Got Dorix there and Mumblebee B. Great. Thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. So what am I going to do this session? Well, I think I remember in last month, I explained that I got a switcher for my live stream, which I'm obviously not using right now. Now, bit of a funny story, I got it, and the guy gave me a power supply because I bought it used, but unfortunately, he gave me the power supply for one of his other devices. It was only 18 watt. This needs 36 with everything running. So I contacted the seller. He looked for it. He found the correct power supply, and he said he was going to post it to me. So I posted the 18 watt power supply back to him. He's ghosted me ever since, which is pretty uncool. But then again, this thing has got about a zillion things that connect into it, and it's kind of a pain to set up and break down each time, especially when you're using just a small monitor on it. In my case, I'm going to use the old monitor, which I killed the touch on that I used to have on the mini lathe. So I figured, you know, I figured I'd try and make sort of a little laptop out of this thing, make it a little more compact. So what I've done, I bought this Amazon Basics, like absolutely indestructible container box thing. While I was getting some parts lasered, I also lasered a couple of bits of aluminium to mount the monitor and to mount this. And so I figured for today's live stream, I'd continue with this project. It's been kind of on the back burner, but while I'm waiting for paint to dry, I can do a little work on this. So I think some people seem to like me doing project work, so stick around. I'll probably work on this until my wife and daughter get back from they've gone out cycling. And when they get back, they promise to make me lunch. So when lunch comes, I'm out of here. Oh, g'day, Christian, joined as well. Yeah, new project. Yeah, this is a bit of a funny one. It's not really my main lane, but I figured, hey, what the hell? So what I've done so far, apart from buying a zillion parts, is I picked up one of these LED power supplies. It's a 50 watt, I think. Yeah, it's supposed to be a 50 watt power supply. So I figured I'll use this to power both the switcher and also the monitor. So the first thing I need to do is just mount this, and I'm just going to drill through and mount it to the bottom here. Let me just get a block of wood so I don't drill through into my table. Wants to tip over. 3mm looks like it'll work. I'm just going to eyeball this, nothing critical. It's kind of a shame that this nice box is waterproof. At least it was. Screw in there just to hold it. These cases are really thick, like surprisingly so. I expected, you know, maybe a millimeter of wall thickness or something, but this you could definitely walk on and not have it collapsing on you. I guess I could make an infomercial out of this. And if you order now, you get free steak knives. Right. What about there? Yeah, you pray it before drilling. Why not use VHB tape? VHB. I have no idea what's VHB tape or hot glue. Nah, mechanical connectors are better. I've already used hot glue. I used hot glue in the top. See, to mount these plates, I just 3D printed some little adapter widgets, hot glued those in, and then put in the like melt-in inserts. But for this bottom part, I didn't need to glue them because Amazon kindly provided T-slots. So these just jam in place. But it doesn't matter because these are not the only holes I'm putting in this case. There'll be heaps more. Right, in 3 screws. These are long enough. So this time I've also got my what do you call it? The check straight ahead of me here. So what do we got? Before drilling, used tape. Don't know what tape but it was. Is that a Peli case copy? I guess it is. It's pretty much. I did look at the Pelican cases, but they only had ones that were either slightly too big or slightly too small. So this one, I actually ordered a different one first. That was the wrong size. It turned out to be too small. So I got this one, which is probably a little bit deeper than I need. But hey. Yeah, these are going to be too short. So 3M VHB tape is a high-performance double-sided tape. Aha! Didn't know that. It's what all the Formula One MotoGP teams use to hold things on. Okay. Stuff I used to mount stuff to the bathroom wall at home. The comment display is frozen. Oh yeah, it is too. Wonder what. Wonder if it's because I was clicked on it. I have no idea why that display is frozen, but let's go in there to the chat display. Just see if I can reload it, maybe. Custom frame rates, blah blah blah. I've never had this before. That just Alex, chat is playing properly here. I think what Alex means is the chat actually in the picture rather than the chat on the side that YouTube gives you. Hit an F5. Okay, let me click on the. See, what I'm doing is I'm using OBS Studios. Do you want to enable dictation? Now F5 on an Apple looks like it's something different. Okay, tell you what. Let's just get rid of it. You guys have already got the chat on the side, so. So I had a choice of 2 long or 2 short screws, so let's go with the 2 long ones. Oh. That's the problem with having the look down camera. It's right above my head. VHB tape doesn't look good on printed parts due to uneven surface of 3D printed parts. Okay, even better, though sometimes it helps gauging the delay. Yeah, that's a good point. That's why, I mean, I do like having those checks on there, but if it's not working, it's not working, and I'm not going to start troubleshooting it now. This is part of why I'm doing this switch over to having like this hardware solution. Is I do find OBS to be a bit flaky, and there's always something which is unpredictable. So rather than dealing with the unpredictability, I'd like to move to this hardware-based solution. But this is where you get to see what fat fingers I've got and how difficult it is to do little screws when you're streaming. Did any of you guys watch the Rugby World Cup finals? You should have. Oh, that's very nice, Alexander. Sitting on my cupboard there. Thanks very much. Yeah, basically, I got Alex to go through his pile of unused networking gear, because ideally you use the network control for this and also put the computer on the same network, because then I can run macros in my PC to do all the switching and all the whole bunch of like more interesting sort of transitions and green screen sort of effects and stuff. At least that's what I'm picturing. But until I've got a network set up, I can't do any of that. So yeah, Alexander very generously went through his stash of unused or no longer used networking switches and stuff and put together a care package for me, which I really appreciate. That's really cool. Nope. It's actually really difficult to do like mechanical things while you're trying to also keep arms and stuff out of your camera angles. Okay. So I've got a question. What is the model of that power supply? It says it's an Innovate. It's just something I got off Amazon. Call it an LED driver. Just a 50 watt, 12 volt power supply. I figure I'm going to use it to run. I'll use it to run this, the monitor, and also I've got two small 12 volt computer fans I'm going to put on the side, because this thing gets really hot when it's running. It's got an internal fan on the side, in fact on both sides. It's got some sort of a through flow cooling system, and I do want to get the heat out when it's in the box. Sorry about the audio, it's probably not ducking when I'm making all these horrible noises. This is the right size. think I'll tighten it later off camera because it's not that important. So that's the first part. The second thing is cooling fan. I've got a couple of these 40mm fans. I'll put them kind of here-ish. So I'm doing this with like utmost precision. So that I'll use the method known as go fast. How's that? Oh, hey JC, glad you could make it. What rugby? Nothing to see here for Kiwis. Move along. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I watched the like all of the quarterfinals and semi-final games on a German television network. It's pretty weird to watch rugby with German commentary. God, it was what, miles off. But yeah, okay. Gotta make do, I guess. Screaming mini fans. Yeah, what I think I'm probably going to do is I'll just put a resistor in series with them just to slow them down, like just so they don't make horrible noise. I mean, I don't think it needs much airflow, but yeah, and I want to do something. Sorry to be running these machines right next to my microphone. I don't have a way to duck the noise. Oh, g'day, John. Glad you could make it. Yeah, Derek, I'm using a full-on precision aircraft building mode here. I just hope I don't blast through and smash my new power supply straight away. Let's take that out first. Yep. Yeah, I was actually surprised that the German commentators of the rugby seem to know what they were talking about. Like, I'm no rugby expert, so I'm not going to pretend that I know everything, but I was quite surprised at just how well prepared those commentators were for a sport which they would have very little contact with. Whoa, that was a good bitey grip. All right. Don't try this at home, kids. You know, when I was setting up for this live stream, one thing I didn't consider was the mess. Back in a sec. Well, no noise at all while you were drilling? Okay, now I can finally see what the wall thickness is on this stuff. It is very thick, much thicker than I expected. I'm actually tempted, because I'm assuming this is a thermoplastic, I'm tempted just to use those melt-in melt-in inserts to mount the scars on there already. Ducking works amazing. I can't hear the drill at all. This I don't understand because there is no ducking. Unless there's something automatic from YouTube or something. Yeah, melt into rock, I agree. I bought a whole box of them. Just line up that first hole. Where did I put my... Oh, right. There we go. It was pretty weird while I was on that business trip to Turkey because I was teaching in like an engine manufacturing facility, which, I mean, it was a huge facility. I think they had like 5,000 employees or something, but incredibly tight security. And they put me up on a hostel that was on site, but I wasn't allowed to like roam around the site or anything. So it was like being in a kind of a luxury prison. So I didn't actually get to see anything of the city I was in, or yeah, didn't really get to see or do much at all. Which is a shame because Eskişehir is supposed to be a really pretty city. That doesn't want to come out. Screw it a bit. So that's one hole done. If I change my mind now, can I still send it back to Amazon? Full refund. So the next thing that goes on this side is, if I can find it, here we go. The main power adapter. Let me just focus there. Oh, so much delay. Deutsche Wertarbeit in Sportfernseher. Seriously, no drill noise. I wonder what's ducking the sound then. That must be a function of YouTube, I would guess. Because I ain't doing it. Now this is going to need a 28 by 48, I guess. Cut out. Yeah, roughly about here. This is one of the things why aircraft mechanics like doing stuff that are not on aircraft. We're allowed to just, like, in German, pushen, like just roughly just go for it. It's quite fun. No drill. Always good to see cable snips used for their designated purpose. Yeah, it was the closest tool. I was very careful though, you saw that. There was no force put on them. So 28. I haven't actually thought through how I'm going to cut this out. Any ideas? I guess I could start with a couple of big holes and then file. What would be, or I guess I could use a rotary air tool. That'll get crap all through the workshop. What would be your suggestion? How would you go about cutting this out? Series drill, yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yep, stitch drill it. Another good option. So did I say 48-ish? Bit of clearance, doesn't need to be exact. JC Wren wrote, the way to cut this out, oxyacetylene. Right, like that. I think it needs to go a wee bit higher. Hey, did you guys watch that video from Rustanox, from Mikhail Rustanox, showing his first video on updating his tailstock? Man, I'm glad to see that there's other people out there who can weld even worse than me. I mean, not him, of course, but somebody in the past had done a real botch job on that. Tailstock, that's for sure. Air saw, soldering iron, Dremel, chain drill, ultrasonic cutter, fine oscillating saw, heat. Some of you guys are a big help, some of you aren't. And I guess we chop off the corners there roughly. Looks about right. Start with a bit of chain drilling on and see how long that's going to take us. Oops, too close. Very sticky sort of plastic. Very sticky sort of a plastic. Practice makes the matter. Your welding did improve a lot. Yeah, I was quite surprised because I was all that welding I did around the outside. Oh, sorry, all of the main welding on the 2.7mm housing, I really wasn't that happy with. It certainly didn't give me the result I would have envisaged as being a good result. And then I got to those thick wall parts and they all seemed really easy, so I guess the practice did help. Imagine you had stick welded that cabinet. Well, I stick welded the last one, and the main difference is just it's so much easier for cleanup, isn't it? With stick welding, you end up with such a mess of smoky, slaggy residue throughout the entire workshop. That is nice with TIG that it's so nice and clean. I don't think my welds were really that much better on the thin material. By the way, one thing I noticed from the the chimney door, thanks Dara. That was that's one thing I did notice with that reminds me, talking in the comments like this. I found out that if you edit the video, the live stream after the fact, it strips out all the comments section, which is why I had put the comments on screen so that somebody watching after the fact kind of knows what I'm reacting to. But if I don't edit the live stream, then I don't actually need to worry about that, because the original comments section will be running on the side of YouTube like normal. So in JC Ren, if you talk while drilling, you can hear it. So maybe your mic squelches the audio if it's below a certain level. No, this mic has no squelch. I'm guessing it's maybe some AI or something or some signal processing from YouTube that's helping out. I don't think any of my part of the system ducks the mic, because this is the same mic setup that I use for all my videos. And when I'm editing, if I've talked over the top of a machine tool, the audio is definitely lost. Wait a minute, this must be a high-speed setting here. That's more like it. This certainly is much easier than the stitch drilling I did on the tool post of the mini lathe, which was out of, I don't know, 80mm cast iron, where stitch drilling was also the only way I could cut it. Okay, stitch drilling done. Now what? What's your next suggestion? Anyway, look, going back to the comment section. I've used a big blade heated over a flame to make nice melt cutouts into pally cases. Okay, cool. If you talk while you're drilling, you can hear it. Welding thicker material is always easy and thin. Yeah, I guess you're right. Although that's kind of why I chose 2 point, or like nearly 3mm steel plate. One, I like having solid, rigid feeling control cabinets on CNC machines. You know, I don't like it when things are like, you know, sort of like, you know, soft sheet metal and bouncing around. But the main thing is, because I used 3mm back when I did the Maho, so that I could actually weld it with the stick welding. So yeah, I would have thought 3mm is not that thin, but anyway. So utility knife. Oh yeah, that's a good call. Do I have one here? Let me have a look. This is a lot easier than steel, that's for sure. You still have a Maho for cutting holes, right? Yeah, but I couldn't imagine fixturing this thing in the Maho. Fixturing's never been my strong point at the best of times, but there's no way I'd be able to fixture this without screwing it up. It's too soft. Sharp knife. Well, it should be somewhat sharp. Also, you're butchering the pally case. Well, it's not a pally case, it's only an Amazon Basics. But yeah, I'm butchering it. All for a good cause. I mean, I did have a bit of a think about making my own case. You know, I don't know, wood or aluminium or fiberglass or something, but nah, not necessary. Let me just go and grab a rough file. This case really is solid though. Nah, can't get in close enough, but I'm estimating the wall thickness is probably maybe 5 millimeters or more even, 6. Yeah, 5 millimeter wall thickness, pretty generous. I think I found some Alexander, I think I found some parts to get CO2 off a soda stream, so you can pull the 5% CO from mag welding. Butchering, cheapo pelly case, it's quite thick though, thick. Measure the piece you cut out. Yeah, that's true, it's still inside. Oh, what do I do? Right on the floor. Lost it. No, I have no idea what I did with the cutout. Oh well. As I say, I'm estimating it's probably 5 millimeters thick. Yeah, get the stearite out for that. Well, the stearite's it's imperial, so. So instead of it being 5 millimeter, it'd be like, I guess, 15/64, maybe 14/64, so 7/32. What a great system. So not wide enough and not long enough. Okay, so it even mutes the filing. Wow. It's nice to work on a material that actually goes fast. There are quite a few videos of people doing exactly this with, you know, mounting their Atom Mini into a casing or a Pelican case or something. They never show the hard part. Yeah, imagine it was an aluminium die cast, yeah. I guess if it was an aluminium die cast, it would cost like 10 times as much, and I wouldn't do this to it. Getting there, getting close. Imagine doing an apprenticeship where you spend 6 weeks. No, it's longer. I think it was. No, basic engineering was 12 weeks, and throughout the 12 weeks we were doing filing of pieces of steel which made up that, well, made up this vise. You get good at filing. I also wouldn't use an unearthed connection. Yeah, I guess it doesn't go to anything, but what would you earth to? It's plastic. And it's only 50 watts. The main reason for getting this power connection was having a switch, because one of the weird things about the Atom series is that there's no on-off switch. As soon as you put power on, it's on, and the only way to turn it off is to disconnect it. So this way I can switch on the fans, the Atom, and the monitor all in one go with a single switch. You should put a filter over the fan though. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I was gonna 3D print like one of those filter carriers and then just put a piece of filter across it. I went looking for 3D print models like STLs for fan covers, and you get all sorts of pretty weird and wonderful things out there. So I'll have to decide which one I want to put on. Hey Doric, if you're still there, what's the status of your dual? Mine is that the gears have been hardened. I sent them to Emil in Romania. He put them into a normal batch of plasma nitriding that he was going to get done anyway. They've been hardened. They hardened to a depth of about 0.27 of a millimeter, according to the test they did on them, and they're currently in the post or with a courier. I think they're coming back with DPD, so hopefully they'll arrive sometime this week even. It would actually be a good thing if they come back soonish, because then I'd have a week's video of putting the gearbox together, which would take the pressure off trying to find interesting video of wiring up the control panel. It's not only wiring that I find quite challenging to make interesting videos of. I'm also going to have a lot of like configuration work in Linux CNC's HAL file, you know, setting up all of the matrix keyboards, scanning and all that sort of stuff. And that stuff's really hard to make a decent video out of. It starts with, you set the camera rolling, start recording yourself, you know, change something in the program, it doesn't work, then you start troubleshooting, and you never know how long it's going to take to finish the troubleshooting, so you don't know whether you leave the camera rolling or turn it off, or, yeah, I find this part of the hobby, that sort of hardware configuration stuff, is probably one of the more difficult things to make decent video of. Come on, you bastard, get in there. Close. Wood's okay. Just need a little bit more length. So going back to the comments section, I wouldn't have used an. I also wouldn't have used an earth connection. I wouldn't have used an earth. The smaller Euro figure 8 is more suitable and are available with switch as well. Just figure of 8 with the Euro plug on the other end. Ah, gotcha. So Dork wrote, the dual. I'm this close to parting out the whole machine. No. You know, Dork came to visit. He got given a dual which he thought had been converted into a band, like a belt sander, but it seems like it was made like that from the factory. It was an original dual belt sander, which seems like a pretty rare and unusual machine. So let's everybody pile on to Doric and tell him, you can't part it out, mate. You got to fix it now. You took responsibility for it. It's like any other stray. You got to make it well and put it back into service. Doric was saying that even Dual didn't know that they had made belt sanders. Still not quite there. I'm sure with enough force I could get it in, but then it probably would never work again. There we go. That's a good fit. Since I'm not allowed to use my wire cutters as a lever, I'll use this. That was one of the important things they taught me in my apprenticeship. Always use the correct tool for the job. Right. So the next question is this a thermoplastic? I'm going to assume that it is, because there's nothing like making assumptions. And I reckon I'm going to, since that wall thickness is good enough, I think I'm going to have a shot at jamming this in. So what size do I need? Looks like a bit over 5. Let's just call that 5 and then melt it. Why not just go through with a screw? And, I mean, I could just put a screw and a nut on the other side, but I just like the idea of melting an insert into it, just to see if it works. Like a screwdriver not being a hammer. No, screwdrivers aren't hammers. Screwdrivers are chisels and levers. Yes, so Doric says, yes, but consider this. If I part it out, there's a gearbox inside. Yep. Although, yeah, I should actually have a gearbox soon. But yeah, please don't sell the gearbox until I know that what I'm doing is going to work. I'd go over all the edges with a sharp knife still. Yep. Same for me. Wrap over the knuckles for misuse of tools. Why not just go through with a screw? Parting out old machinery is analogous to giving up on the kids. Somehow I collected 2 such beasts, unloved Harding 82-inch lathes. Yep, that's Hamish, all right? Hamish, oh, just a sec. You guys back, huh? Okay, I'll finish up soon. Cool, lunch is going to be ready soon. So Jim Jams is my mate Hamish. He's got, he for some reason he asked me what lathe he should get and sent me a few recommendations of options in the UK. And one was a Harding, and of course, man, Hardings are fantastic, right? So I'm not quite sure. Oh yeah, so the first one arrived with the control panel a bit dented up because they dropped it in shipping. And Hamish being avionics, he's actually perfectly capable of like taking or disconnecting all the electrics of the control panel, taking the panel down to a local panel beaters and getting them just to beat the thing straight again. But his solution was to buy a second one. There you go, point of no return. Let's melt those in. Plug in my old soldering iron. Where's that? What do I do with it? Back in a sec. Well, it must be here somewhere. Ah, there it is. So going back to the comments section, we've got bevel the hole so the insert goes in better. Well, what I found before is they still don't fine even without a bevel because they just melt. But I do have somewhere. Where did I put my countersink? Okay. Right, warm enough? Let's have a look. Not yet. Starting to melt. There it goes. So yes, this is totally unnecessary, but it's kind of fun. Who doesn't like melting things? Right. Well, guys, my lunch is about ready. So I'm going to say thanks very much. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a video out of this, but I will film it all, and I'll still decide after the fact whether it's in my lane enough to make sense to finish it in video. ABS vapors, yeah, exactly. Put that away. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm hoping this week to get the gears back. So if I'm lucky, this week's video will be putting the gearbox back together. If not, I'll just be continuing on with the wiring and build up of the control. So thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. After this, wait a sec. You need the Naomi Wu heat seat press. I have to look that one up. I see. Did you guys see Naomi Wu's being basically silenced by the Chinese government? The last time I heard was sort of a month ago that she was a maker in China who also stood up for the rights of like other people and stuff. And I guess she got too political for the Chinese Communist Party. And from what I've heard, she's now been silenced, which is not cool. Anyway, yeah, thanks a lot for coming. Thanks for joining the live stream. And yeah, you guys all have a really nice Sunday, and catch you later. Thanks for watching. So let's go to the